This meeting of the Eastham Board of Library Trustees will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website at www.eastham-ma.gov. I'm calling this meeting to order at 4 o'clock. I would first like to welcome Solana Sullivan as one of our student ambassadors. Welcome. Look forward to working with you. And as you have questions along the way, feel free to ask them. And along the way, we'll also probably ask you to do certain, things to reach out to the students. And because what our objective is I guess it's twofold. We want to have an idea of what's going on at the high school and what the student needs are. And we also want to communicate to the students what the library can do for them and hopefully make it a more useful resource for them. Okay, so welcome. We welcome Karen McDonald is our Assistant Director and Adult Services Librarian, and she will be doing a presentation with us this afternoon. So Karen, the floor is yours when you're ready.
All right. Do we want to switch seats or do I want to?
How about the minutes?
That's right. Who wants to do the minutes? Okay, let's do. Welcome, Jenna.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome.
Janet.
We just had a little thing about the student.
Smith. I can even spell that.
Yeah, we just talked a little bit about the role of the student ambassador, and we'll be asking you at times to communicate information to the student body and also ask you to bring information to us if there are needs that you become aware of over time, just to let us know about that. So we've done our welcomes, and Karen, before we begin with your report, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve. So I would first ask that we have a motion to approve the minutes as printed in the packet for July 15th with edits. Do I have a motion for that?
I move we approve the minutes as printed in the packet for July 15th, 2025.
Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Second, okay. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, and then Mary.
So I guess we're we approved these at the last meeting. With the change that the community fridge would cost approximately $25,000 per year.
That's the second piece of minutes. That's the second minutes. We're doing July 15th first.
Yeah, because we approved these in August. But now we're approving them again with just the community fridge changes. That's what you wanted, Willow, right?
Yeah,
Right.
That's what I understand.
So I don't think we need to change them. I have a spreadsheet from Melanie that, I mean, if you want to be technical, the cost of the meals was going to be $23,400 per year. But in general, the cost of the program was going to be approximately $25,000 per year for the food.
I think Melanie's director's report said $1,500 for food. And that was for half of the cost with the outside consultant stuff. So I have a copy of it.
Yeah, the motion on August 19th, actually the earlier motion, and we had
This was
in 6AI5, it said the $25,000 instead of the $1,500. And then the notation that we needed to correct that.
Yeah, so the point being, one of the reasons we didn't approve the community fridge is that we split the food costs with the people, but it was still what Melanie had estimated that the food would cost was still upwards of $20,000.
No,
No, that's not what I said.
no.
I do
think that that is what I said, because that is in the spreadsheet. And
I have a copy, well, I'm not sure I brought it, but I have a copy of your director's report, and
I think the $1,500 was a request for a fund commitment for the fridge as
Fridge,
equipment,
yes.
but Sarah's, what I'm hearing is that Sarah's trying to clarify for the sake of although that may have been what we wrote in the minutes, what I'm hearing her say is that it's important to clarify that what we estimated to be the full cost of the program was $25,000, because that's one of the reasons that the trustees decided not to fund the program.
Right.
that's your report right there,
Sorry, Sarah.
right?
Yeah, I
Right,
recall-
but then she clarified it in the meeting, saying, no, it would be, we'd have to pay for the meals.
Yeah.
She did and she told us the calculations for the meals.
Yeah,
So it would be an ongoing,
I think that that might have been a typo, Mary, or I might have been unclear, because I mean, I did produce that spreadsheet and share that separately, so I appreciate that this is what I said in the director's report, but remember, then we talked about it after the fact. Everybody asked me to share the spreadsheet that said the full calculation. And I know it's not my job to
Well, I think-
codify the minutes, but what I'm hearing you say is that that's why we're trying
Yeah.
to say it was that much, just because we want to be able to look back and say that's why we didn't approve the program, is because it was
Yes.
$25,000, not because the fridge itself cost $1,500.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to say in the minutes that having a community fridge here was going to be the food for a total of $25,000 per year.
Okay.
That was the cost of the food.
Right, because it says half the cost to the family collaborative for food for a total of 1,500 in the minute.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
incorrect.
Yeah, and I recall the discussion of the cost of $25,000.
Yes,
And then the later discussion of the $1,500
for the fridge,
as
for the
being
equipment.
for the equipment itself.
Yes.
And
We're never gonna get it.
so,
Well, I don't think we need to approve these minutes then, because
Huh.
we approved them at the last meeting.
So we've made a motion, so I would say that after discussion, we voted to, we
decided to
denied it.
withdraw the
We
motion.
denied this 5-0 or whatever.
Yeah,
Or what we could simply do is have the motion maker withdraw the motion as
I withdraw it.
yeah,
No,
as it
it's just,
it isn't necessary. We've clarified the issue. As they were printed and posted to the town, they were correct.
yeah,
So the motion was
withdrawn.
withdrawn.
withdraw.
The motion
What
was
does that
drawn
mean?
by the maker and the person who seconded it.
What?
Does that mean it's not written anywhere that?
No, so at the last meeting, I said,
Okay,
which you see right here, that Sarah Sarah amended the minutes so that the item will read $25,000.
Gotcha.
Okay,
and that's the August minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the first minutes that we're talking
Okay.
about are July.
right.
But
So
they're
now
amended in
we already
August.
approved those in August. So now we
No,
don't need,
well, no, we haven't approved those.
yeah,
yeah, we approved the July 15th
Right.
minutes in August. Then we thought we had to change them. We thought there was a mistake in them, and we were gonna fix that today. But the July 15th minutes stand as they are. And now all we need to do is approve the August 19th minutes, as we haven't approved them yet.
So
Yeah.
where is that in the July 15th minutes
where's what?
on the refrigerator?
Right here.
In the director's report.
I'm looking at the director's report.
It's this one.
I
This
think it's
number will,
AI.
this number is currently posted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
okay.
website as 25,000.
Oh, and that's what was, okay. So we're keeping it the way it is,
Yeah,
Correct.
so it
Is
was
what I-
posted,
which is-
yeah, we thought that
which is what I said.
it was posted. But we thought that there was an error, so we were going to correct it, but as it turns out, the way it's posted is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
So we
I
don't have to
agree,
change
I
it.
agree.
Okay, let us move on then. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th as printed in the packet?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion second.
second,
Okay, any discussion on the August 19th minutes?
So will you just undo the Willow, under the July 15th motion to the first motion? just remove your strike through.
Yep.
Right, and then
Okay, so we're on the August 19th minutes motion.
Yeah.
We had that, okay,
Yeah.
we had a second, any discussion? Okay, Mary,
What?
do you want to vote?
Vote.
on August minutes?
aye,
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Usually doesn't take this.
Not
long
like
to
it's
approve the
normally-
minutes, but we had a confusion the last time and included them out, we posted it,
Go fast and slow.
and we thought we had to change it. We just decided that we didn't.
Yeah.
So we got a little confused there. Okay. Karen, bring us back down to earth. Oh, you're not Karen.
I loved the strategic plan. I love the way it was set up. I love the graphics. I don't know if you've looked at it, but usually it's a slog to get through those, but anyway, it was really good. So one of the things that they said was that it was a program interest graph, and these are some of the important things that came up. Wildlife talks, current events, live music, and author talks. Okay, so we have some of our perennial favorites, as far as, literature things. We have someone come in and read A Child's Christmas in Wales at Christmas time. And then, another thing that, we do every year now is to take the bus, okay, because things have changed. People in town, some of them didn't even know there was free bus service all summer, and there's a new person, and she was really nice, so we were happy with the take the bus. Oopsies, all right. Oh, yeah, so here's the bell ringers, the not group is called the Nauset Ringers. Okay, so another thing that is particularly important to me is to honor the past, because, I'm one of the older librarians now, and I want to get this stuff out there so people can pick up the torch. So the windmill, last year we had a windmill tour, and Jerry Boucher gives the tour. He's one of the people that, is a tour guide there. So he found boxes and boxes of stuff. Now, Mr. Owens, who was the miller before him, was an artist. So we have drawings, we have postcards, we have so much stuff. So he put together a little group. And it includes the the beach commission and the rec department. And there were even some people, like the windmill guy from Chatham was here, so we got input from that, and just people who wanted to come. So it's gonna be ongoing through the winter. But I think I was worried that the Mr. Owens drawing collection would go away somewhere. So it's not gonna happen. Not only that, the town is becoming interested in the history, and a lot of people didn't know about the windmill tours even. So we'll do that again next year too. Jerry Lou donated this 100-year-old Steinway that we've been playing for 7 years or so, maybe. So we had a really good pianist, Jacqueline Schwab, came in, and she talked about Jerry and about the piano, and she played, pretty good. She played wonderful music. Norma Marcelino, who passed away, used to be on this board. We had a bluegrass band come in and celebrate her life. Marianne had arranged with the charter school to have these pictures brought in. This man who worked for Life magazine in the 1960s and, had a pass to get into everything. He was at the Beatles concert, like right up on the stage, and, Martin Luther King, and, he's like Forrest Gump. He was at everything that happened in the 1960s. So she got hold of these black and white pictures, which were gorgeous. And I didn't remember that Chris Sweeto, who was a local filmmaker, had done a film about this man, Roland Sherman. So we showed that, and we brought more people in to see the exhibit. Chris got to reconnect with him. And I got to tell everybody about Canopy, because this film I'm talking about is on Canopy. I also like to promote all of the, Libby, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of that, promoting people, telling them how easy it is and whatnot. Like, I'm talking fast. This is a little display I put up in the hall. And people are looking at it. People are reading it. I have a little essay, if you haven't read it, about how Jerry got the piano and how we got the piano. We have the receipt from the piano from 1906. And it was an interesting experiment. And I learned a lot. And thank you, Willow. Willow helped me calm down about it when, copyright things and this and that happened. So thank you. Taught me how to hand
Anytime.
Thanks so much. Okay, so new interests is one of the things that comes up all the time. We are doing really well, I think, in the Wampanoag Arts and Cultures. We had some dancers come in. We have some more coming in just before Turnip Festival, so it can kind of tie in with November being Indigenous History Month. We have improv, which is really fun. Last year we had we had every week for 8 weeks. An actor comes in and we do really fun exercises, showing how to think on your feet, and it's harder than you might think. We have a mushroom hunt coming up too. We have Wesley Price, who lives in the area, used to give us a tour of Salt Pond, and we would walk around, pick up mushrooms, and then we'd all assemble, and he'd tell us more about them and what they do and why they grow on logs and whatnot. So he was great, but he has left the Mycological Society, and this new guy is here. So we have this guy who used to work in Central Park. Maybe, I don't know, if mushrooms were the deal, but I love those Ukrainian eggs. The Polish people do them too. They're like, they're done with a real egg, but they put wax on it and then they dip it in a color and then they pull it out and put more wax on it. And then they're gorgeous. They're folk art. And I just we have people who demonstrate it. I don't know if they can teach it within an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes them really long.
The demo is still really cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get somebody like that. When we have the mushroom thing or even the winter music series, we've done trial and error with online registration. Sometimes people say, I couldn't send in my music sample and whatnot. So Corey has taught me how to do it in LibCal, which is our calendar program, instead of a Google product. So I'm getting there. Great. Okay, read together, write together. Again, Corey does so many things with reading and writing, but mine have their own little niche. We have our short story group, and every third Thursday of the month, we have a book group. Now, the good thing about both of those books is people have learned that, they come up with the titles, so at our September meeting, we'll come up with titles for all the book groups. And each week, a short story person talks a little about the author and, kind of gets a conversation going about the story. There's a local author, she writes a lot of mysteries, and she's gonna be coming in. She calls it Candlestick in the Library, because if you've ever played the game of Clue, that's one of the, the candlestick in the library is one of the ways they get murdered. So
Spoiler.
she's gonna.
Do we have any candlesticks yet?
No, for safety reasons.
Yeah, right. More the ways than one. So this is Jeanette Dubois. She's I don't know, some book group had her visit and had a great time. So I think this is gonna be really fun. We're gonna write it as a group. She's gonna somehow teach us how to throw in a red herring and whatnot. And then we're gonna have a finished product at the end of an hour. Wow. This is the improv. This is a man who teaches the improv. And again, I said it's really fun. If you want to get out of your comfort zone, it's a great way to enhance your leisure time. This is the new mushroom guide.
Are those, that's not all mushroom.
No, I guess it looks like.
It's like lettuce down there.
Yeah. No, he's just doing his mushroom thing in a greenhouse, but anyway, can't wait to meet him. That's Roland Sherman, who he's like in his 80s now. He did all those pictures in the 60s, and that is Chris Sweeto, who made the film about him, which is on Canopy. This is her name is Tootie Coombs, and she was at last year's Turnip Festival, and she's coming again. She's Wampanoag, and she makes these gorgeous, gorgeous corn husk dolls. We're gonna have a couple on display during the month of October. Hers are, they're real art, and ours are amazing because they come up, within 20 minutes, we have a beautiful little corn, and she's such a good teacher. If somebody is like on a different part of the corn husk doll, she can like do two things at once, and it's very, very people don't feel shy around her. She's
Yeah.
great.
We got really good feedback.
Okay, so the winter music series application has gone out. We are collecting musicians. If you are a musician, you can apply too.
And this is the thing that you're doing now through LibCal to collect those
Yes.
responses? Cool, very
Yes.
cool.
So we have a little music committee. We have Kathy and Art and Elaine. And in November, when we get a lot of people, and if we don't, we'll extend it. We get together, we each take a few samples, we listen to them, we decide. So that's the most fun, I think. You know, the concerts are great, but I love working with these people who know music, and we get a variety. We don't just get bluegrass. Carolyn, so
How many Saturdays do you tend?
we have 5 Saturdays in the winter. But then we've come up with this thing called the Encore series. Now, the winter music, we try to get new people who haven't played much in public and, expose them and give them a chance. And then in spring, we have an encore series where we bring back some of the musicians that people really loved.
Mhm.
And, okay, so I already mentioned the special events. Okay, so in order to go along with those goals that I mentioned at the beginning, I'm thinking we'll either do butterflies or birds
Mm.
in the spring. We have done the Phil Kyle Bird Walk, and it was very successful. These walks, for some reason, I've kind of fallen into taking people out for walks.
Mhm.
Oh, and it's great. This woman, Alison O'Leary, writes about inns and adventures. She's actually married to Paul Sugas or some kind of famous nonfiction writer. At any rate, so she's been here a long time ago, and she does bicycling across New England and things that people might actually want to do in the area. There's a man who wrote to me that I'd just like to meet. He's explored Antarctica. He's written books about mushrooms. He's done it all. He's kind of like a National Geographic in a box kind of. And so we'll maybe meet him. Travelogues. Okay, that is it's really fun. We had let's see, one couple went across the country in their electric vehicle and talked about, what things were like doing that. Roz came in and she'd gone to Cuba, and it was just kind of, their trip through Cuba, but it was very charming. And I think people would like to, kind of like they had stories in the pines, they would come in and tell a story. They could come in and tell a travel story.
Yeah.
So I could tell a few. Okay. These are things that came up on that graph, on that bar graph, that I don't think I think I need to add something along those lines. Now, it looks like you've kind of done this issues of the time. It looks like you've kind of, started to bring people from government in and whatnot.
Well, it's a little bit of both, because I think that we get approached by different community groups, so trying to kind of work with people in the community too. So Terry Gallagher had approached me about doing that. What does your county do for you, as a way to kind of bridge what he does with the Eastham Democrats, pre-exposure through our library.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we are doing it a little. Financial literacy, and also the AI issue. The COA does some really good stuff, and I almost want them to come here and do it too. But there's a lot of overlap. What if we simulcast them on our big TV while they're doing it? We can be there to ask questions, and I don't want to duplicate the efforts of any of the other departments, or or Leah or Corey. I think that we have to really try to. Everybody does a little piece. Education, healthcare, and civic engagement. Okay, there's a new database called Get Set Up, and it's live, and it markets itself as for people over 55. But as we pointed out, it's you're probably going to talk about that later.
Yeah, but you can talk about it.
No. Like 20 minutes. All right. Now, these are just things pop into my head that I think are, I get fascinated with. There's this artist who, had drawn a self-portrait, and then a year later drew another one. And, as he went through dementia, he drew a picture, and you can see how, after all, you couldn't even recognize himself. And he was a really good artist too, So I don't know anyone who, who could talk about that, but it's in the back of my mind. Cat behaviorist. Okay, we have a lot of dog stuff around here. I think we should have somebody come in and say, what do you do when your cat scratches your couch or whatever? And so your cat
Cats are
can be
people
happy.
too.
Cats are people. Yeah.
And other is up to you. Okay, we always listen to patrons. They mention things, and you know, and they, what, Freya puts this beautiful big whiteboard and they write down, you know, we want more about mushrooms or just for an example.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions of things I should follow up on? And you can tell me tomorrow or, you know, other.
Mhm.
I have something for you that I'll send you an email or talk to you about. I've already mentioned it to the group. I am remiss in telling you.
And I didn't see anything in there on movies. You've had movies in the past.
Took over the movies and she does really, she picks them out and checks the copyright and stuff. And then she shows them on Monday matinees, I think it's called.
Tuesdays, I think she's
Tuesday.
doing now, starting in November this year is what she's
It's
gonna
gonna
do.
be when?
Tuesdays in November, I think, also matinees, so like 1 p.m. I have to double check the calendar, but she is gonna be doing that again. And yeah, she's been working with Karen to
Yeah. So
check the public performance rights and stuff like
I
that.
was just wondering whether how well, I mean, I have attended some of them in the past. I just know how many people tended to attend or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes not very many, sometimes.
Yeah,
there aren't many, but we've already paid for the equipment and the, you know,
Yep.
DVDs. It doesn't cost us anything.
yeah,
so.
it's a nice off-season thing, so we can just offer a like low stakes program that anybody can come to and see it as kind of a guaranteed regular offering for the winter months.
And then somewhere in that strategic plan, you said, one of our goals for the next year is marketing, you know, the programs we already have. So that is one that probably could be, although marketing a movie is another whole.
Yes, that's one of the most.
They don't want you to
challenging-
tell the people in the
Yeah.
public what the movie is.
Right.
Copyright reasons. Anyway, so think about
You
the,
can't say what the title of the movie is
No.
that you're marketing?
Not outside the
yeah, you
library,
can put a sign in the library, but yeah, we can't.
because they don't want us showing the movie for free to impede with the potential for the movie to be.
But these
So-
aren't like current movies though, are they?
Right,
No,
yeah.
Like,
It's the kind of thing where, like, I shouldn't say this in a public meeting. It's unlikely that because of the size of the library, that if we were to like, go outside of what we're supposed to do for advertising, that they would, come down on us.
Stop
But,
it.
I don't know, certain things in my brain, I'm like, I really want to be by the book because I don't want somebody to be able to come up and say, you're not following the rules. So,
I get
Karen
it.
and I are really particular about it, and I
Yeah.
appreciate
Barbara is
that.
too.
Yeah,
Barbara's
yeah.
yeah,
Barbara is.
copyright's important.
Copyright's important.
Yeah, what was your recommendation? Just basically,
Oh, that woman who does like the laughing meditation type of thing.
Oh,
I described it after.
That work,
Yeah.
does some things that I think
Yeah.
there would be some people.
unconventional therapies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Any
Any other
any
comments or questions?
I have a question. What is your budget for this? And
The friends just say, spend what you want. I've never had the friends say no to me for, it's about $200 per
is,
year.
is everything paid for by the friends?
Correct, yes.
So none of it
That's
comes
true.
out of our budget.
No.
Or the program?
You occasionally have people donate their time to things too, but if it's a paid performer, then it comes out of the Friends budget.
Okay. Any others? And thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you,
We
Karen.
Appreciate you taking the time, and I like that you tied it to the strategic plan.
Yeah,
Because Melanie, I know, and staff invested a lot of time in working on the strategic plan. And it's good to see that it's not just now a document
Yeah.
that sits.
I hate it when you spend all this time on it and then no one even looks at it,
Seeing how what you're doing now ties into the strategic plan, I think is good. I think
you.
that's beneficial.
Thanks, Karen.
Okay,
Alrighty.
thank you.
Enjoy your meeting and.
Back to my
No,
house.
Oh, thank God.
Oh. Sorry, we'll get it plugged back in.
Excited. No. On screen sharing stuff. Okay.
All right. Stay together.
I doing?
You can hear me?
That.
I think you're all set. You didn't have
Okay.
any plugs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Recharged.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, public comment, and we don't have any members of the public present, so we'll skip over that. We did the staff visit. That was item 4 on the agenda. And we welcomed Jenna and Solana as our student ambassadors. And do you have any thoughts at the moment? Anything that you feel that the high school students would like to see at the library? Or do you need time to think about it and check with students and see what their interests are?
I actually had a question. So I think I've seen things like, have you had like students who have bands like come play at the library?
Yes,
How was that? Like, was it successful?
It was super successful.
Yeah, I was gonna say like more of that because I think that would be a good idea because I actually went to one of those like concerts. It was free too. It was like a Wellfleet recreation. I went to it like last Friday and like a bunch of their friends showed up. I feel like it's just really great like environment for everyone. And it just seems like it would be super fun.
Yeah,
Put it on the
great.
agenda.
Thank you. Yeah, we would like to do more of that. We're at least planning to make like Teen Rock Night an annual thing, and hopefully we'll have more opportunities throughout the year too. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback.
we've had the jazz band from the,
Yes,
from the high
that's-
school.
Yep, a good point too. We've also
Yeah.
worked like with the high school music departments.
Yeah, I think I played here actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Great.
It was the winter, it was not even, no, it was.
Spring concert,
Okay.
yeah.
Alrighty, thank you. Then, Willow, you said, you were gonna read
I
Willow's,
can read,
you were gonna read,
I will. Um,
the French report.
Yep, Debbie reported that our Windmill Weekend entry faced stiff competition, but won third prize in the parade, which had the theme Out of This World. As in the past, kudos to board member Roger Dumas, who came up with the idea and constructed our 8-foot tall ET. If you haven't caught a glimpse, ET came home in the back of the library, right down there. It's pretty cool. And
It's
he's gonna
really cool.
he's gonna put the string back so that kids can help him wave. Lee and I have been talking about some new ideas for the rec department's Halloween on the Green, which returns for the 5th year on October 25th from 3 to 5 p.m. We'll need volunteers to staff the library friends table, monitor some games, and hand out books and candy. Finally, the volunteers are thrilled about the amount of traffic in the VIS bookstore this summer. We topped the last 3 years of bookshop and merchandise sales for July and August, taking in $1,747 in books, CDs, and DVDs and puzzles, and $2,676 in merchandise. It has been difficult keeping good books on the shelf. The next regular meeting is October 2nd.
Okay, thank you. And I would suggest that if anyone has a question for Debbie, you all have her email address, so just shoot her a note, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to answer it. Which brings us to our director's report. Melanie, you're on.
Thanks. So first things first on the director's report, I just want to give everyone an update on this year's Turnip Festival. I'm taking over the spearheading of the coordination of this year's event in lieu of Marianne's retirement. In terms of funding and sponsorship, the Friends of the Library will be sponsoring the main portion of this event as they always do. So big thank you to them. We did receive a $1,000 sponsorship from Siemens Bank and we'll be receiving a $500 sponsorship from Cape Cod 5. And in addition, the Friends of the Library also have some special community funds that we use to offer some supplementary programs as well. So far for entertainment, we have actually, in addition on here, we're about to have booked the Payomet Circus performers. We have booked a caricature artist, a face painter, the Cape Cod Ukulele Club, and the Wampanoag Crafters that we used last year. We've also, as Karen mentioned, invited back the Wampanoag singers and dancers that performed at last year's Turnip Fest, but we'll be having them the week before Turnip Fest. Just due to the nature of the circus performance, they're gonna have, I think, an A-frame, and so I think it's gonna be infeasible to have to take all that down and sort of totally clear house, but we still wanted to have the singers and dancers, so we're gonna have them a week earlier in part of celebration of Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month. Yeah, so we're really excited about all that. We are also looking to bring back some teen bands who played at Teen Rock Night in the Chapel in the Pines for the afternoon of the Turnip Festival. So Leah is helping me coordinate some of that. Additional offerings that we'll have, Marka Daly has shared with me her presentation and some other digital information that she has about turnip farming in Eastham, and she's given me permission to adapt that to a smaller display that I'll put on the mobile display that Karen is currently using for the piano display, so we can kind of advertise about some of that history in Eastham in-house, as well as connecting to the Schoolhouse Museum, which will also have their regular display up. Corey is going to work with me to create a scavenger hunt with frequently asked question facts about Eastham turnips that would also bring people to different areas of the library on turnip day. And we're looking into some fun, silly, I don't know, book-related prizes to give out if people complete the scavenger hunt. We'll of course have temporary turnip tattoos as we usually do, our traditional outdoor games. Leah and I are working together to create some farming and like farm stand themed toys to put in the children's area for the fall, to just kind of feature as part of this whole harvesty season. So we're excited about that. We'll offer crafts for a variety of ages, and we recently got a donation of a new book called Oh Dear, which it doesn't feature the Eastham turnip specifically by name, but it does feature turnips that look picturesque Eastham turnips. So that's what we're going to be using for this year's story walk. Yeah, so we're really excited about all those offerings. If you've got more suggestions or any feedback, I welcome that. As Marianne always says, this is a collaborative effort, so please, feedback is both a welcome and necessary part of the development of this annual event.
And I have a question before you
Yeah,
go on to the next
yeah.
one. I don't see anything on here about all the various restaurants that are involved.
Yes, that's about to kind of kick off. I've just kind of started to reach out to restaurants about participation this year. I did want to wait to see. I didn't think this was really going to happen, but I figured since I was kind of new to coordinating this, that I could kind of, I don't know, see what the health department said about possibly serving some kind of food here. And the health department, fire department, and police department they said no. So, but I asked the question, so I'm gonna go with what we've done for the past couple of years, the Taste of Turnip in town, and reach out to the eateries and see about doing that. So, I imagine it'll look quite similar to how it has in years, the recent years past.
That's a bummer.
What are the dates again?
The date of Turnip Fest this year is Saturday, November 22nd. So the Wampanoag singers and dancers will be here Saturday, November 15th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about
Are you
that?
having the size of the raffle thing for the size of the turnip?
The enormous turnip. I
Okay.
have to reach out to see about a farmer donating one big enough for that kind of a thing this year. Usually,
Yeah, that seems to be very
popular.
very popular. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's usually been in the lobby.
Yeah. I am planning to do that again, but to have not secured our ginormous turnip yet. Yeah. Thank you, and thank you for any forthcoming feedback as well.
And I just have one more question. You've talked about the funding.
Yes.
How does that work up to compared to what was needed last year to put this on? Cost?
The Friends have committed a little bit more than they did last year. Siemens, the $1,000 sponsorship is the same as is the $500 sponsorship. And I neglected to talk about the local cultural council funding on here, but I have documentation from what Marianne had done for that. And they give us some funds as well. That I believe was lower than in years past, but it's just kind of the nature of how many groups apply and them wanting to support a variety of projects there.
So you feel you have enough money
Yes.
for what you want to do?
Thank you. Yes. And as I mentioned, the Friends have sort of special funding for community programs. That's also a side intention of that is to support local cultural heritage programming. So specifically the Wampanoag programs and other programs related to local history and indigenous culture and things of that nature. Thank you. Two more things. We have opened up a job search for a full-time youth services assistant. That position was posted on September 8th, and the preferential date for applications is the 26th. I don't want to talk specifically about how many applications we have right now, but we do have a very healthy application pool so far, and we still have some time, so that's very exciting. The interview committee is going to be myself, Leah, our youth services librarian, and Lori Barr from HR. And we're looking to hopefully conduct interviews the first full week of October. And ideally, somebody would be able to start at the beginning of November, but that, kind of depends on the right candidate and their timeline. So that's how things are going so far.
I have a question on that. Could you just tell us I have the job description here.
Mhm.
How does this job compare to the job that Mary Ann had as far as things that she was responsible for versus what you're expecting this person to do?
Can you be a little more specific?
Well, I mean, I've looked through here and I don't see anything in here. I know Mary Ann did a lot of outreach.
Mhm.
And I don't see anything in here regarding anything associated with that. So I was wondering whether somebody else was going to be doing it, or
Yeah.
I thought what she did was very important
Mhm.
on the outreach. Everything everybody does is important, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying on the outreach perspective, I thought it was very excellent as to what she did. And I think it's important to continue it.
Yeah, we're not looking to discontinue any of the programs that Mary Ann has been taking care of for the past 7+ years. So
Mhm.
she, the repurposed book art, I'm gonna help coordinate a lot. Leah's gonna help me with that. A lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, a good portion of some of the outreach programs that Marianne was involved with, Leah's going to be helping with. So we're looking to really bolster the full-time participation within the youth services department,
Mhm.
make sure we have kind of I don't know, for lack of a better word, a full department that's specifically devoted to children and families. And then we're going to refocus some of the more adult-focused outreach efforts within the adult services department.
Mm.
So everything that she has been working towards will continue in one vein or another.
But other people may
But
be taking on some.
yeah, it may be handled by a slightly different avenue of staff.
And
So
you feel that you've got the staff to take on additional things?
this is a really good time for us to kind of figure out which,
Who's doing what?
Yeah, yeah. And then if there is, a lack in a particular area, where we might need to kind of bolster some things. We do have some really wonderful and committed part-time staff who have said that, they'd be interested in taking up some other things and maybe helping with some programming in the future. So we have some opportunities for internal growth there.
Mhm.
So that will be exciting.
Thank you.
I think it's great and reflective of that you're specifically having a youth services assistant, and like you just said, focusing on bolstering the services to the families and children, especially since it's, something that this town supports
Mhm.
as well, with the various ways that they're trying to make East Ham an attractive place for families to live in. So
Yeah.
I think it's great, the position.
Thank you.
And I like the idea of the opportunity that's being presented for internal growth.
Mhm.
That people who have been in positions will have an opportunity now to maybe explore some new areas and grow in those areas. And I think, this is an opportunity for change and growth. So see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
where it goes. It'll be,
And have a part-time person take on a project that they can own would be a lot of fun for them, I imagine.
yeah. And I think it's just a great way to solidify people's role on the team, give them some ownership there. So, yeah. Last thing I just want to mention is, both of the strategic plan and the FY26 action plan have been submitted to, the MBLC, and without any follow-up that, it has been approved. So we are all set there. And I'm going to work to mimic something that the, town planning department is doing and create, like a spreadsheet that we can kind of check off action items, so that as we move through the FY26 action plan, we have a really nice visual of how we've kind of moved through some of those specific projects, and we can continue to look at that over time.
I like a checklist.
Me too. So that is it from me, unless anyone has any questions about.
We talked about putting a sign up at the exit about
Yes,
the town hall.
yes.
And I didn't know whether we'd had a chance to talk to DPW about cutting back the foliage on Dougherty property when you coming out of the exit there, because I think we can go back. I think we have 10 feet I'm not a DPW person, but I think we have some ability in it. I think that would be helpful if we were
Yeah.
also put up a sign.
And there's a couple of, well, you'll hear later in my building updates, some other updates. So John and I need to have a meeting to touch base
Mhm.
about this ongoing things. Thanks, Mary.
I have a couple of other things, but I'll wait until we get down to what it has to do with the roof, so.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so, we'll move on to old business then. I'm not aware of any, policy review that's been going on, so I don't think we have anything to discuss or approve there. Good. Okay. The next item is the reminder for the staff appreciation event in the spring of 26. Basically, let me just comment on that, is the event is scheduled currently for April with, planning by the trustees, starting in February, March, just as a reminder, and for Robin, since you weren't on the board at the time, and for our student ambassadors, we do basically a staff recognition annually. And what we sort of realized after the staff recognition last year was that the staff was doing all of the planning and work for the staff recognition. And it sort of makes sense that since we're sort of recognizing, the trustees are recognizing the staff, that maybe we should be doing the planning and the work. So that's going to be starting in February and March of this year. And this was just put on the agenda as a reminder to everybody. And I'll have it on the agenda when we get to February and March, and so we could step up and decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And on the next item on the agenda was the trustees' cost share for the recent staff event, which was Mary Ann's retirement. My understanding is that our share of the cost would be $447.70. Is that correct? So may I have a motion to pay that sum from the trustee interest account?
So moved.
There's a motion, a second?
Second.
Okay, you have a motion and a second to pay $447.70 from the trustee interest account. Other discussion? Seeing none, all those, Mary?
Aye.
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 Paul?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Okay. Under new business, we have,
What account does that come from?
trustee interest account.
Good catch. Hi, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Hi, sir. Where are we at? Okay, good. Under new business, we have the introduction of the new library resource Get Set Up in the online author talks. So Melanie, I'll turn to you for that.
Okay, this will be brief. I'm realizing that the best way to market some new digital resources is really kind of word of mouth and getting people directly acclimated. So I just want to show you guys two new resources that we're offering at the library. One is the title of the program is called Library Speakers Consortium. You know, every business and vendor has to have a name, but they recommend not using that name to advertise on your library website because that doesn't mean anything to patrons. So what this program is, though, is it is a digital consortium that allows smaller libraries to have virtual access to bigger name authors that you wouldn't be able to bring here in person. So I reached out to some other CLAMS libraries and they gave good responses about this program, how easy it is to market. They provide their own marketing resources to you. They handle all of the, virtual aspect of everything, and they have their own host. So all you have to do is advertise it. So under our programs and events, where you see our full events calendar to see everything going on here at the library, we also now have a link to online author talks. And this takes you to what's called a microsite. It's just a landing page that looks like an extension of our library website, and it tells you upcoming speakers that we have and allows you to see more about the program and register right from here.
Cool.
So this is very exciting of ours. I've already attended a couple of these myself. And once you, well, you have access to all of the previous speakers as well. So if there's something that you missed or, oh, I wish I had registered for this author last month, you can see all of the recordings for the previous events in addition to new ones coming up.
How long are the recordings kept?
You have access to them for as long as we have access to this program. So it's a pretty good deal.
That's a while.
Yeah. And if you signed up to attend a program, you have automatic, they send you the recording link right to your email, so you don't even have to search for it. So that's very nice. Let's see. Yeah, so past recordings, you can see all past recordings there. All right, so that's just a basic introduction to that resource. The other resource I want to mention, you may recall some months back, we talked about how the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners was not able to provide the full breadth of databases to libraries that they had previously. So I was looking into acquiring some directly for our library. And in the process of that, I was introduced to a new resource through Gale, who is a traditional library vendor. And this resource is called Get Set Up. So if you're not aware, one way to see all of the digital resources that the library has is to go to our Explore tab and then go to our digital library. And here we have different tabs to group different kinds of e-content together. This middle tab here is called Databases and Websites. And if you click there and scroll down, you can see our full list of library databases. And Get Set Up is this new resource that Karen had alluded to. And some of you may be aware, I offered an introductory program here at the library last week and also last week at the Senior Center. So this digital resource is targeted to
school, right? I remember what the databases.
Yeah. I guess I'll just log in so you can see what is. All you need to log into it is your library card number and then an email address, and you'll have to set up a password. Don't look at my password.
Oh, I memorized it.
Okay, so once you get yourself set up, you have access to the whole catalog of content that they have in here, and they are continuing to add new content. I have to double check on how often new content is added, but they have different categories such as cooking and health, fitness and overall wellness, technology, how to avoid contemporary scams, how to learn to use your new iPad or Android device, recommendations for travel, how to travel solo, how to get the most out of pre-preparing to travel. And there's also community-led sessions as well, where you, as somebody participating in this resource, can submit a form to kind of run your own community class.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And what does this cost, or how is this done?
It costs, you have to double check, but it's not cheap, but I think that it's worthwhile to be able to provide content where you know that the instructors are being compensated, that they're vetted by this company, that they're not trying to, advertise to you or sort of like fearmonger you into,
And the name of the company is what you've got.
This is Gale and Cengage are like partner companies now, or one is an umbrella of the other. And Get Set Up is this program that we are paying for. So I think that I have had a good time using this resource. It's fun to get kind of creative with it. There's video content as well as written content and articles that you can search. If you would like to know more about this, I'd be happy to set up a one-on-one. I don't want to be exhaustive about this now, but I just, I figured this is a good opportunity to let some library constituents know about a new resource that we have that might be beneficial to you or somebody you know.
Is there any way for us to know whether it's being used or not?
Yes, I can collect data on people who have set up accounts and, you know,
Okay.
yeah, so,
I mean, you have, if you go 5, 6, 7 months and nobody does
Right.
anything and it costs whatever you're saying, then that's something we should
yeah.
consider.
I haven't taken a good hard look yet because I know that this initial steps are not gonna be great because
Mhm,
these kinds of things can take a little bit of time to get off the ground, so please let people know about it and then we'll
Mhm.
see if it's really worthwhile to have for the future. Any questions about that?
Melanie,
Yeah.
you already went out. I was gonna say, before you
Oh, sorry.
leave the databases,
Uh-huh.
maybe the student ambassadors, you could just show them the databases that we have for
Sure.
for the teenagers or for school.
Yeah.
Just to refresh their memories if they haven't seen them.
Cool. We do have a teens page, which does have some information about resources that we have for teens. We don't actually have a lot of teen-specific databases.
Well, and the other, then we have the Peterson's test, the Peterson's testing.
Well, I see what you're saying. You know what? That's a good point, is I should do better organization of our website for that. But yes, if you go to our full list of databases, then yes, we
There's
also
the
have.
Britannicas. And opposing viewpoints is really
Mhm.
important, and Peterson's test prep and career prep are all helpful at the high school level for you guys. You've got the academic one file. I use that one a lot with my high school students. So we used opposing viewpoints a lot too. So those could be helpful, and maybe they're in addition to what the school already provides. I don't know what the school provides you for databases on their page. But, just know that they're there. We can
Okay.
spread the word. Okay.
And I will make our teen page, a little more user friendly for you guys. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Kitty, our next item is the financial report, and we're looking at the draft FY 27 budget, which is on pages 15 and 16 in the packet. And did we get a peek at this last time, or is this the?
This is the first time
Yeah,
you're
this is the
seeing
first time
this.
looking at it, yeah.
I do have some things to say, but I'm giving, I don't know if I had enough copies for everybody. I'll send out
I have it
another
on,
copy.
so let me,
Well, this
This
is
is
an
new.
updated.
This is not
copy.
the whole part of the
So-
packet.
So what happened, here's the background, is I hadn't been approached about the FY 27 budget meetings yet, so I went and did my own estimate of what FY 27 might look like, and I sort of level funded us because we had been level funded last year, and I just wanted to be conservative with what we might expect. So I took some things out of our budget that doesn't mean that we weren't planning to provide for it. I was planning to see about maybe asking for IT and or DPW to take on some things in their budget to allow us a little bit of flexibility to continue to increase our unclassified budget line. Are you all following me so far? Then after I sent out the packet to the trustees, Rich had reached out and kind of given me an initial draft. Due to some staff changes that we've had, we just have a little bit of flexibility with our overall budget. And the long story short is we're not going to have to do any maneuvering of some of those sort of smaller expenses that if you took a close look at the draft budget that I sent to you, I had pulled out the public computer management software. I was going to talk to IT about maybe absorbing that into their budget. And I had taken out, travel expenses, anticipating that was
$200,
something,
yeah.
yeah, just like small things like that, trying to make that add up so that we could add a decent amount to our unclassified budget line, because we don't want that to get too low in relation to what the town is covering, which would mean that we have to ask the Friends to supplement a good portion more. So we don't have to do that. The draft budget that Rich kind of gave to me, which allows us to increase our budget overall and increase our unclassified line, will result in the town covering 95% of what is needed for the unclassified budget line. So we're in good shape. If this is really confusing, I'm happy to go over it again, or I'm happy to do one-on-one meetings. But the long story short is I went at this in a very conservative way, not sure what things were going to look like. And we don't need to be that conservative. So we will, as this gets updated, I'll send out a new updated draft, but I just wanted to give you the kind of update as I have that now.
Well, your estimate was pretty good. On the one that was in the packet was like a 3.8% increase. Yours is 3.9%.
Yeah.
Now that Rich sent the updated one, so it's pretty darn close, and the spread on the money is just about $2,000. So it's not bad.
Yeah, so we'll be in good shape for FY 27. And Mary wanted to ask me some more detailed questions, so I said that she and I should set up a one-on-one to get some clarity there. If anybody would like their own or to join that for, please let me know and we'll accommodate as needed. Fine.
Thank you. Any questions on that before we move on? Okay, the bank statements are in the packet. They're there. I don't have any questions on them. That they are what they are.
They are what they are, and they all balanced out when I did it. My sort of monthly calculation that I do with the PINA and the reconciliation.
Hey, Mary, you had your hand.
Yeah, I was, thank you for including these, because I had asked about them last time. But I was looking at the sheet, the bank sheet. And in particular, well, both of them, the CD and the checking account. And I'm looking right now at the CD, and the interest and the amount, the value on the balance as of July, end of July, which is essentially 8/1/25, is on the sheet here, is the 623,313.77. Yeah. And the last accounting, and I made enough copies of this for everybody. You have 701,650.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I had meant to bring that up because I went through to do all my,
Excuse me, these, you can give these to, I'm sorry,
nope, that's okay.
to Willow and.
I should have caught this a couple months ago, because here's what happened. When I copied the full information to go to the new fiscal year, I accidentally copied the total from the end of last year of the CD and the checking account to be the starting balance of the CD interest, starting balance for this year. So that was an error that I should have caught a couple months ago. So it's been wrong for a couple of months, and that was me reconciling it. So I apologize about that.
So. And the trustee interest account doesn't match up either, so. I guess what I would like to.
Not from last month, but from this month it does.
Yeah. This obviously, this needs to be correct. The sheet is incorrect.
Yes.
Right now.
But this is the last copy that I gave you. It's correct now.
Oh, you've corrected.
I've corrected.
But we don't have a.
I'm sorry about that. I should have given you an updated copy or.
Because this would indicate that we have more money than we have.
Right.
Quite a bit more money than we have.
It can't be that bad if we didn't notice for 2 months.
Well, 623 versus 701, that's over 70,000.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I can appreciate that, because when I was doing my reconciliation last week or whatever, I did have a moment where I panicked a little, and I realized that was the error that I had made, and that is a significant error, but it was a copy and paste human error, not a real accounting error. So
well, after the meeting, I'll tell you about my $800,000 error that was running in an account that I was doing for almost a year. Very embarrassing. Okay. Any other comments or questions on the bank statements? Okay, I think then we are ready to move on to the building checklist. Yes. Okay, that's on page 17 in the packet.
So the first thing is I sent out, I don't believe that this. Yes, and so the last update that I had on the building checklist for the HVAC issues was that the second compressor was replaced and it did not fix the known issues that we are having at this time. I sent out an email today. I touched base very briefly with John, John Ruffley, the head of DPW, who's been in contact with Scott, our facilities coordinator, who's also been in touch with Dakin, and we are having a larger scale issue than we had previously believed. That's likely going to result in us having to get possibly multiple quotes from people, having to go through the whole process to do a larger scale fix. So I will keep everyone updated as that progresses. We are lucky that we're in a mild part of the year where we can kind of keep doors open to have good airflow. But obviously that's very disappointing. I was hoping that we were gonna be in a much better place with the HVAC at this point. So that's
What's the
update there.
timing, do you think, on?
I don't know, because I haven't had a more
Okay.
thorough conversation with John. And I don't know how intensive this bidding process or whatever is going to be.
Require.
Yeah. But this is, I think, John's area of expertise. So yeah, I have faith that he'll get us in the right direction for this. And I don't know, for better or worse, we're not the only building in town to have HVAC issues, so we're just in
Just
good
about every
company.
building in town.
We're in good company, Okay. Associated Elevator was here today, I think, to do some work with the battery backup, but I have to double check with DPW about the details on that. But that work is also moving along. I had a one-on-one with Jackie today, and she's not been able to get the structural engineer team on site to do the assessment yet.
I thought they were supposed to be here on the 9th.
Yeah. We are sharing the same frustration, you, me, and Jackie. But when they come on site, we'll get more information from them, and then that project will continue to kind of go from there. So I've saved the best, most exciting update for last. In positive news, we have our concrete slab laid and set for our terrapin sculpture installation, which will happen this Monday afternoon. And I believe we're going to do, Willow, did you guys have a garden tour committee meeting
did.
today? You did not.
We did.
You did, okay.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so I think later that afternoon, we're gonna do.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Just
No.
kidding. We're not gonna do that.
We're just kidding. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're not. Gonna do
Okay,
anything.
all right. But it will be installed that
Will
day
be.
and it will look beautiful and
And if the library wants to do something soon or in the spring or whenever, it'll be up to the library.
okay.
I mean, in terms of an
Welcome
event.
event,
Yeah,
welcome
event.
event or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. All right.
Betsy resigned.
Really?
She did.
Okay. Okay. Any questions about the facility?
How
building?
about the slab? How much did that cost? And did the DPW pay for that?
The DPW took care of that, yes.
And they're not gonna charge us?
Correct.
We're not gonna ask questions.
Don't ask a question.
Yeah, I don't often say no questions, please, but on that one, let's just let it go. Okay, under other business, I only have one thing to report. Mary might want to add some comments. Mary and I met with Linda Callahan and Patty. I didn't catch Patty's last name, from the South Yarmouth Library.
Great.
And we had a nice chat. They are at the beginning stages of some of their fundraising for their new facility
Is this
in
Sharon?
Yarmouth.
Is it Sharon?
No, Yarmouth.
Yarmouth.
Yarmouth. And so we just basically shared our thinking and some of the information that we had, and basically invited them to reach out to us if they had additional comments. We would be glad to speak with them. their situation, their setup is
Mhm.
very different than
Yeah,
ours.
I
So
feel
with that-
sorry,
yeah.
to be quite honest with you, I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, without getting into detail again, because we're on a public meeting, but their situation in terms of fundraising is very different than our situation was. So they have a number of issues that they need to deal with and a number of different constituencies that they have to deal
They
with.
have two libraries
Mhm,
in town.
mhm.
And so there are a number of things there, but we met with them, shared what we learned through our building process, and had a lot of questions. And as I said, we offered an invitation that if they had additional questions, that we'd be glad to meet with them or their people at some point down the road. Mary, did you want to add anything to that?
Nothing to that part of our meeting.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did they tell you about the size of their large meeting room? You guys end up
No,
talking-
They
okay.
didn't speak specifically about the size of the meeting room. We talked briefly about their square footage and our
And
square
ours, yeah.
footage.
Why did they say something to you about it?
I meant to mention this to you guys, but when I watched a meeting about it, their feasibility study resulted in a meeting room, and the results said that a meeting room that would have the max capacity of, I think, 130 would be
Hmm.
sufficient for a community their size, and that just didn't feel realistic to me, because our meeting room has a capacity of
120.
120, and it's like frequently over full, and we're a community a fifth of the size, so
Yeah.
I just didn't know if that came up.
Mhm.
But I'll mention it.
Yeah,
I
Dan,
have no
no, yeah,
qualms.
the fact that our community on the year-round basis, about a fifth the population of what they have over in
Mm.
Yarmouth.
Yeah.
So, their meeting room size is surprising.
Yeah, but
We mentioned our parking situation,
Mm.
how that was one of the areas, parking and storage
Yeah.
Storage.
is what we mentioned as real inadequacies. That we perceived in our
Yeah,
library,
good points.
but they did not mention anything about the specifics of the meeting room.
Mhm.
Okay, I do not have anything else under other business. Mary?
The last time I discussed the fact that I'd had some conversations with the IT folks
yes,
about our IT here. And I left it that I was going to get in touch with Rich and work something out, and you wanted to join us.
Mhm.
And he's been busy, and somebody on the stuff, the IT stuff has been out of town, but he said that I know he had talked to Devin. There's a new person, Rafael. I don't know him. I mean, I've met him, but I don't know him that well.
Mhm.
I know he had talked to Devin about the current setup of the library, so I will check in with him to see where that stands, and we'll let you know about getting together. So I
Okay.
just want you to know that a meeting hasn't been set up, but I'm working with Rich to try to get one to set up, and we'll hopefully get something in the future, but I haven't had that meeting yet.
all right,
Okay.
But I haven't given up on him.
okay.
If, Mary, if something develops between now and the next meeting, let Melanie or Sarah, I know, and this way we'll get it on the agenda
Oh, yeah,
prep
yeah,
meeting,
yeah.
and that way it'll be on next month's agenda.
And maybe you'd like to join us if.
Yeah, I'd be
the three
interested.
of us.
Yeah, so, yeah, but what I also do is make sure that if, something moves forward on that we get it on the
Jump to the
agenda,
agenda.
the discussion. So what I'll do is I'll put it on the agenda anyway.
Mm.
Just, on the agenda prep meeting at least, and if there's something, that way we'll just
Yeah,
be
yeah.
reminded to take a look at it. All righty, seeing no other business, our next meeting is scheduled for October 21st at 4 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mary has seconded. Mary, your vote obviously is a yes,
Yep.
and yes, and Willow?
Yes.
4-0.
Yes, 4-0. And, did you know, Willow?
Yeah, the time that-
at which Sarah left the meeting?
I did.
Okay, good.
It was, I will tell you what it was. It was 4:47.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you. Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.